What do you
on
do?
tour, baby. What happens
Yes,
on tour?
tour.
We on tour, we on tour, we on tour, baby.
Hi guys, we're on tour.
We're on tour, baby.
We just bite, we don't
We're
judge.
on tour, baby. Yeah.
Welcome to Disputed People Pods on the Road. We are here at the first ever Joburg Games Fest. I should study my scripts beforehand. But the main thing is welcome to the Joburg Games Fest, right? This is our first time, it's first year, so we're here covering it, and we're looking forward to talking to Kieran, one of the organizers, and to take us through it. So let's welcome Kieran.
Thanks for having me. I've been dying to be on the podcast, as you all know. I can't believe you had to come to me to be on the first episode, but it's fine. It's great to have you here, and thanks for being part of the Joburg Games Fest. You know, it's so great to have studios. It's so great to have people. It's so great to see like different crowds as well, right? And just an exposure that we're really keen on. So thanks for coming through, and thanks for finally having me on your podcast, Formula.
Our pleasure, to be honest. You know, we're hosting a legend here. I think some of you guys would not have us if it wasn't for the likes of Kieran sort of setting us up in terms of what education we can get and where we can learn. So this is our hero, so we're more than happy to host.
Well, thanks. That's kind words. Yeah, I taught both of them. And like half the people here, I'm like, well, I taught them at some point. I mean, not to boast or anything, but, you know, it's really nice to see my students in the industry that they came to study and to be important people, you know, like you guys are on the up and up. Ben is over there with Nyama Corp doing big things. There's people at Free Lives, you know, it's really great to see how these young people, the student body that we were worried about, we were excited to teach them, but now they're out there and they're making things happen.
It's crazy now, like when I ask like what's happening in 24-bit games, I'm asking friends, you know. It's no longer this mysterious place. It's like, oh, that's where Rayan and Matthew are. Like you can situate what is happening in the industry because the class filled it, you know?
Yeah, no, it's really the best to see.
Yeah.
No, so Kieran, tell us, can you please give us a brief overview of the Joburg Games Fest to, you know, anyone who's not familiar with it, you know, so that everyone can know what's this event and what's going on?
So what happened was there was a community that started to form in Joburg, meetups once a month. There was a group of people who were coming, and it got to like 120 people coming regularly. So we really wanted to go like, you guys are so loyal. You're always here. You're always supporting each other. You're always uplifting each other. Let's give you a festival that we can showcase your work. We can put you out there. We can introduce you to people from Cape Town and some internationals and like get a different mix there. So it's really a celebration for me. No matter like at its core, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of games and it's a celebration of the people who make them. Because you know games are cool, but actually, what I found is that the people who make games are cooler than the games they make.
I'm touched. I'm touched.
Not you, Komalang. Everyone else.
Oh, no, I was touched for nothing.
Yeah, so the festival really is, it's exposure, it's learning, it's celebration, it's fun. You'll see we've made a brief history of South African games. So if you walk up the ramp here, there's like a history which goes from 94 all the way to now. And what's interesting is that the first kind of studio that we recognize was formed in 94, which is the same year that our country was formed. So our country and games are like so linked together, but there's a really nice history. And what I love to see about the history, and it's really what we're celebrating, is that there's just this explosion over the last few years. You know, like these incubators have made it different. There's been government involvement. There's been so much happening that our gallery wall at the end shows all the cool games we have on exhibition, and it's just amazing to see. So that's what the fest is about. And, you know, it's also providing an opportunity for people based in Joburg and Pretoria to have a festival like this. Because obviously there's AGW.
But it's hella expensive.
It's so expensive. Even we're like, oh, should we go? It's so expensive. I mean, it's well worth it to go to both AGW and Playtopia, but we also wanted to provide people the opportunity to do it here and to provide students that opportunity. Because, you know, like, you guys are professionals now. You've been a professional for a while, but you can
sort of summarize that well.
You can maybe afford to go to AGW, but there's no ways a student can. right? It's just impossible. So Joburg Games Fest is here so that they can come and see it and they can have that exposure.
Yeah, and I really like where this is going because I've seen that before, right? The previous years, we were able to take the whole team to AGW, right? But as the years go by, you start looking at that budget and Airbnbs and hotels, like, maybe you guys go. I'll go next time. But we are sending the team down there, so that's great, but not the whole team this time. So it's, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, man. But I think I guess you covered this question, but like about what inspiration and the vision, I guess, for the event growing long term. Where do you guys see it going?
Yeah, so I mean, just in terms of the inspiration, apart from AGW and our community, there used to be an event that was held in Johannesburg and Braamfontein called Amaze, which was an international festival. And what's nice is that this is not an international festival. All the organizers are local. But that festival was really this moment. And when we were doing our history, we saw it as this like turning point for the games industry because everyone came together and they were like, oh, you make games, oh, you make games, oh, you make games, and everyone was like together. So Amaze has been a big inspiration for what we're doing, but now it's ours, and it involves such an interesting steering committee. And we really wanted to be it's way more successful than we thought it would be. We were like, okay, we've got 120 people coming. Then we saw the ticket numbers. We're like, whoa, okay, that's excellent because it proves that people want to be here, and that means that we can make it an annual thing. And we can really extend it. I want it over 2 or 3 days, a weekend, which means that we can have like on Sunday, and Fakugezi does this, they have like a kids workshop, come make games. And Khomalang's teaching you how to make games, or whoever's teaching you how to make games. But then we're getting little kids involved because some of them were even like, oh, I want to make a game because they love the games there. And then we can also have like partner dinners, and we can have, maybe more intimate conversations with people who run studios in the country, and a lot of other things within that, and broaden it out a whole bunch. So that's the plan, a few years. But as long as for me and for the committee, it remains a celebration of games, the people who make games, then the future is limitless.
No, awesome, man. That's very beautiful. I think, just when I think about the students who are here, those young kids, so many young people, I mean, those guys, I think they look really young. I imagine probably people like they're like 9 or something. So I don't know if did AGW do something like that where they brought in kids?
I'm not sure if they have. I mean, I'm sure they have done some like outreach things. A lot of these festivals have other moments during the year where they're doing things, which is something we want to consider. But I don't know if they've done a careers day as such. I mean, look, there is a fundamental difference. So AGW really is business to business, and it's really about industry and the kind of making those connections there. And Playtopia is really about game developers playing and having a party, whereas we want to help the students get into different spaces. And part of the reason is because Joburg just has the biggest student body. I mean, so in Cape Town, there aren't that many tertiary institutions teaching. In Joburg, we've got WITS, we've got Vega, we've got SAE, we've got Open Window, we've got Animation School, we've got a whole bunch of different places teaching courses here and there. So we've got this big student population. And also, I mean, Joburg's the best city, and it's we don't have the mountain, but we've got really cool people, and we've got really there's an industrious spirit about Joburg. Like we don't have a mountain. It's not as pretty as Cape Town. I'll admit that, though I do love driving through the kind of canopied streets. But
it's like King's Landing versus High Garden, right? Like High Garden is like nice and all that, but it's like small and commercially it's there. But Johannesburg is like King's Landing. Exactly. You can smell the shit from afar, but everyone wants to be there.
Exactly, right? It's that weird thing. It's that weird thing about these industrious cities. So, like if you think about everyone's so into New York, right? Chicago is like Joburg. It's just a working city. It's where people are doing stuff and making things happen, and the waiters are on time, unlike in Cape Town, which is one of my pet peeves about Cape Town. But I do think that industrious hustle feel that people in Joburg experience and excel at is something that we want to capture in the festival.
I want to say Cape Town slander. Oh. No, I'm from Garonku. I'm from Pretoria, so it is. And Bannon would also want to take a word with you. Bannon loves Cape Town. Ben is a very key person in IT Think Gaming, so he really loves Cape Town. But I mean, but it's a great point about the amount of students there are here. So that's really amazing that there's so many schools. So, and I guess to your point about where do they go afterwards, and also the story you mentioned about how they're being seated in all these or getting jobs in different studios. So that's really amazing. So congratulations to you, to everybody who made this happen. So
Kieran, if you don't mind, do you think you can share the ticket numbers with us to see how many people are?
I would have to go check on my ticket booth and then let you know. But, you know, we just by the morning we had 230 in the door. And I was in my mind when I was planning it with people, the committee was like, yeah, it'll be 200. You know, obviously, but we've really reached a market that we didn't expect to reach, which is really great. It does mean we have to figure out how we cater the festival. And that's why I'm saying some of it's very public facing and some of it's very developer facing. And we sort of built it this year around developer. But now we know, actually, there's a public that we have to cater to. And part of that's because some of our sponsors who came on board and partners have really advertised in places we don't reach. For example, I'll give you one example. There's a company who's on board called Drive-Through SA. And they put up big screens and they have drive-throughs, right? Yeah. And they do it, you know, it's so cool. Yeah. And obviously they do it here at the Walter Sisulu Botanical, but they also go to Tembisa. And they put up their screens there and that kind of stuff. And having that person as a partner meant that we accessed an audience that we didn't imagine we'd access because they're not developers, but they want to come, they want to play games. So in fact, in future, he might be mad at me for saying, we're going to use his big screens to play big multiplayer games and go to Tembisa and go to all of the places that he has. He does a lot in the Eastern Cape and have these cool game tournaments where you're playing on like massive drive-through screen. Can you imagine sitting in your car with the controller, playing your game, and everyone's like this?
This is our DJ Mapurisa of games. You know how Mapurisa made the games, Amapiano, whatnot? I think I saw his London interview, and he said, like, the magic was that he made Amapiano a blockbuster. Right? He was like, he tried to make it this grand, like, overbearing experience for no reason. And people love that. So multiplayer, like Tekken on a huge ass screen with everyone there, I can see it working magic. Like, people who don't care about games might want to be there.
Well, exactly, yeah. But we are going to throw in, and we are going to try and design games for those screens from local people. The Tekken's cool. We get the Tekken to get people to come, but then they play our games, and then they're like, this is the game I want to play.
Loving this.
But maybe I think you mentioned this guy. What was the company called?
Drive-Through SA.
Drive-Through SA. So who are the other like sponsors? Who are the companies that are involved with?
So there's so many. I'm not going to list them all. We have 25.
Time for their promo. This is the time for the
No, sure.
You'll show them. You'll be like, see, for the support, you got shouted out.
I'll send you the image with all 25. But let me say that for the founding partners, right? So there's a group of 5 of us who have been in the steering committee and have organized it and have put it together. So it's my company, Two Name Games. It's 24-bit, who are the biggest service industry company in the country. Nyama Corp, who are one of the big 6, what they call in the Timologong's For the Win Gaming Report. They're one of the big 6. IT Think Gaming, which you guys are familiar with. Yeah. And then, you know, and this is the big shout out, is really to the Goethe Institute South Africa. They have made this possible both by providing space, by providing funding, by providing support, by being enthusiastic. You know, we've spent the whole week restoring their space, but actually they've come up to us and they're like, whoa, we love it here now because we've made these slinky chandeliers. And they love the slinky chandeliers. So really the Goethe Institute has made it all possible. And those are the kind of 5 founding partners, but we've had plenty of others in various ways supporting us. We have a nice relationship with PAG, which is Pan-African Gaming Group. They're running a separate event in here, and we're actually the only location in Joburg that has this event because it's a screening of Unreal developers from across Africa and stuff. So there's so many people who've been on board, and that's been really exciting. But the best thing is we approached some people who were originally like, you know, we don't know. Then last week Tuesday they're like, or this week Tuesday they're like, how do we get involved? So I mean, I think what changed was just the kind of social media attention we're getting. They've seen that this is a thing and it's happening and that there's interest from a whole bunch of different people. So I think that really got everyone excited. And now next year.
For someone who wants to, come here to the event and experience it, what could they possibly expect, right? Because you do mention there are games, there are all of like these different things, but what else is there, to sort of like capture people, to make sure?
Yeah, so there's like, there was workshops this morning, and one of them we had a South African, but she works for an international company called Landfill Games, and in fact she's head of their publishing. Yeah. And so what that means is that she can explain what it's like to be in South Africa, to have studied in South Africa, but then to make it big in an international company that's selling millions of copies of their games. So the workshops are really cool. There's some that are like hands-on. So John Keevy was running a workshop in which he taught people how to use Inky, which is a tool for narrative design and for telling stories in games. And then we have a whole bunch of talks. And we have a really nice kind of program of talks that goes from like indie people to right now there's a panel from government officials who are here and really want to see how they can get involved. So there's the workshops. And then in the evening, we're going to be playing some social games. This will only go out after the event. So we're playing a bingo game, right? Where you get a bingo card, but it says, find someone who's published 3 games. And then you have to go meet people. And when you meet that person, they sign your card. Once they've signed your card and you made like a row of them, you can submit it for the raffles that we're having. So we want the network to really kind of grow. So we're playing bingo games. And then we've got a cool pixel wall. Just down there, we've got magnets on a magnet wall, and you can make pixel art with magnets, which is really cool. What we want, and we've started it now, is to not just make it an arcade, workshops and stuff, but to make the space playful and interactive, right? Because gamers love to play. And we really want to push that quite far. Like, for example, we had to move because of the sun, but next to the real food truck was a VR food truck in which you... The Kota Maker, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, it was a bit bleak when I thought it was VR. I'm like, I thought we were going to get the Kotas.
So it's a kota making game, basically, right? So
yeah, so you're in VR, and then your 2 hands, you have to like make your sandwiches, and you have to flip this, and you have to do that, and then you get to serve it to your customers. And she's doing really great with the game. She's got like aprons, so when you play, you put on the VR goggles.
so you're like completely immersed in that.
Yeah. You also have to put that. The only thing she's missing is smell. I think she can add like the smell of oil frying and stuff like that. I think that'll be the next step for her to make it immersive.
No, that's really cool, actually. I might actually just go and play that after this. Is it?
No, they were outside here.
Literally right outside your room.
I saw it, right? I was like, yeah, no, I need to go play this. No, that.
By the way, I wanted to ask this quickly because we mentioned the God. How do you say the name? I think once and for all, like we just want South Africans to know how to say the name of this place.
So it's the Goethe Institute, South Africa. Goethe, yeah. Goethe, yeah. Look, I don't know. I'm not. It's Goethe Institute.
UBS, I remember UBS.
Is it?
Hugh did say it's something like Goethe. He did say like te.
Yeah, so German's quite a guttural language. So I imagine that the THE, the T, is quite hard. So it's Goethe.
Yeah, yo, guys, it's a mouthful. But I don't know if we're gonna get Lars, because Lars and Kai are German, right? From the School of Design. What's it called? Friends of Design.
Yeah, so the Academy of Digital Arts, Friends of Design. Yeah, so they're Cape Town based. They're one of the Cape Town Tertiary Institute. It's so great that they're here as well. I mean, for me, it's really great to see so many educators. At one point, we were outside having a smoke, and I was just like, oh, there's the teacher from SAE, there's the teacher from Vega, there's the teacher from WITS, there's the teacher from... And it was so nice that all of the educators are here as well to see what they've produced in some ways and what they should be working towards, right? So they're also interacting with industry. They're going to someone from Nyamakop. They say, what do you need in a student? What skills are you missing? So it's so nice to see the kind of wide range of it.
I'm not going to lie, this would have been really cool if we were still in school. I'm not going to lie.
If I was in varsity and this was a thing, it would be great. But I think there's a thing of, would it exist without those times,
No, 100%, yeah.
we are going to now at least be, as Kumo was saying, for those people what we didn't have at that age, right? Someone has to start, and we are the beginning. You know, I'll always be happy to have been in the first workshop of the first Joburg Games Fest, saying, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll always live with that.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
There's some perks.
And the first podcast.
Oh yeah, and the first podcast too, right? Yeah.
So there's some perks to being first, you know? Those kids will enjoy us just sharing free knowledge.
I assume you'll be here next year.
Always.
The podcast on the road.
Always. Well, whatever Joburg Games Fest is happening, we're here. Just don't even ask us. Just put us on the guest list.
You're on the program already. You're literally the only thing on the program right now.
So yeah, no, Kieran, no, this was great. No, thanks for having us. I think
Yeah, thanks for finally having me on your podcast. Yes. Finally. I've been asked, I eventually stopped asking you and asked your team because I was like, these guys are never going to reply to me. They keep saying, Kuma, they keep saying, oh, he's such a legend. We love him so much. And then how many times have I been on the podcast?
This legend is on the back.
You see, we've even got background noise because it's such an outrage that I haven't been on the podcast. Things are just breaking around the room.
Yeah, what is that thing about like celebrating your legends now when they're alive? These guys, they don't want to give you your flowers later. Give him his flowers now. Give him his flowers, his podcast flowers now.
no, but Kieran, no, honestly,
It would be nice if we had flowers actually like this. Like, so maybe we'll make it digital, like ding, and then.
Yeah, Lou will sort this out. I know for sure.
no, Kieran, it was great. It was very insightful, everything that you said. Obviously, I hope everyone has gotten this information and they can take it with stride, you know, to sort of like come in next time. And, you know, I know some people, you know, don't really want to come to these places because, you know, it's this industry, right? Like some people don't know if it's the right thing to do. There's pressure, there's social anxiety, right?
And also, I mean, I don't know what kind of level your podcast is in, but also gaming space is white men, right? And it's very alienating, and it has been for so long. And obviously, here I am, the white man, saying that and stuff like that. But you know, this is what's great about being on this podcast is I'm the only white man here. Now, the other problem is we ask all men, though, right? But we're seeing that change. And once that changes, people will feel more comfortable coming to these spaces, coming to these things, and actually joining our community. Our community is really cool.
Yeah, no. So you heard it live here, folks. This was...
Wait, I want to close the segment because I have an irk. Yes, I have an irk that I want to say, and I think Kieran is partly to blame for this one. So this advert went out to places that Kieran didn't even know what. I got given a demo disc today. This guy is just like, I'm a rapper, by the way. I'm like, we make games here, though, right? Like, you can't rock up to me with a mixtape and be
No, that's what, was it Tegan? No, the guy wants to make music, but it's gaming.
ask him, do you make scores, like soundtracks, sounds? He's like, no, I rap, bro. It's like,
But you can teach him. I think that's pretty dope that he came up to you. You can teach him how to. You can tell him this. I need this kind of. Did he say he makes beats? Do you take the CD?
I don't know, but I asked him.
Wait, who does CDs anymore?
Did you do that? Do you take it?
No, I didn't take the.
Aye.
Guys, listen. Hear me out.
But you also
I took the business card. I took the business card. I'm not gonna.
As the only person here from the Joburg Games Fest scene, if you make rap and you want to come to our festival, don't listen to Homalanga.
Yeah.
You are entirely welcome. And in fact, you should inspire some of the devs to make an awesome rap game.
Buns.
No, you said we're closing out. We closed out the segment. Cut. You can cut now.
Guys, I'm being painted badly here. I gave him everything that you guys are saying, but I will still not take the CD. I told him.
But that's because you don't have a CD player. No one has CD players anymore.
Yes, I was like, I told him all the things that he can try.
We still have a CD, dude. We still have a Walkman at home, actually, like the Sony Walkmans, the ones.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
And ask for me to come back as a guest again. That's important. Not the like and subscribe. Me as a guest. Tell them you like and subscribe when I come back.
Hello, disputed people. Welcome back to segment 2 of the episode. We are joined by Mr. Neo Hako Ramatinyane.
Oh, my brother got it right. All of the names. Yeah.
The full
His
number
rap
plate
people,
unlocked,
Number
bruh.
plate, man.
Representing Space Salad, man. These guys walk so we could run. I'm telling you, and it's true. When they were at Timolong, that was the time before the good stuff came. When we came, just picked up from these guys and knew exactly what to do. So this guy will tell you their story, how they've been doing as a studio, and, you know, introduce himself a bit more if he feels like I didn't do him justice. Mr. Neo, take us away, man. What's about Space Salad? What's the journey been like?
My brother. Just to start off, like with my name, Neo Pakorama Tinyani. I like how you said that. It makes me feel like John Michelle Basquiat. You know what I mean? I like the full.
Say them Rametinyani.
Yeah, Ramatinyani.
Ma?
Ramatinyani. Yeah.
I sound like Metinyana, so I'm like.
Metinyani. No, none of that. Yeah, I'm from Space Salad. Joined the guys back in 2019. It wasn't long after they'd started. It's a very interesting trip. I used to live in the Free State at the time, and I took like a bus to Cape Town, and we were doing. Oh, it was a train to Cape Town. We were doing the Amaze Train Jam. Yeah, and I was supposed to go back home because I was there for like a couple of days, and that was literally the last time I'd been home. Like, I went to Cape Town and I flew straight to Tumulong or to Joburg to start working with the guys because I got the job while I was that side, and I just started working with them, and it's been like 5 years now.
You haven't been home in 5 years?
Yeah. Like I'll go for like 1 or 2 days, but not so much.
So wait, so how did you get your clothes up there?
Bro, I just had like a sports bag. Right? I had a sports bag and everything that I owned was in that, like my laptop, my drawing equipment. And I was like, okay, I'll figure things out as I go. So I was just buying clothes and yeah.
Maybe that's a good segue too. So what's your role at Space Salad?
I am the visual development artist and the release manager and a bunch of other things. But basically, I just do all the drawings, all the graphics that people see. Yeah, that's
So you're the one who drew the
Buns.
Oh, yeah. I am desensitized now.
to Buns. You had to study Buns. How's the research? How's the research?
Brother, it was kind of like shameful in the beginning. I'll say that. It was very shameful. I had to sit like through catalogs and hours of videos as reference. And I had to find a corner in a house where my parents would like see.
What is this perv doing?
And you had to study like the wiggle, right? Like the momentum.
Everything, man.
But maybe so it doesn't get dirty. Sorry, folks at home. Let him explain what the game's about. So they made a game that you guys released on Steam.
Yeah.
Was it this year or last year?
Last year, December, 1st of December.
Yeah, can you tell us more about the game, please?
Yeah, and it's cultural, guys. Like he'll tell you. It's not dirty.
Hot Buns is a game about the origins of twerking. So when you think of twerking, the first thing you think about is like the westernized version of it, right? The super sexual thing. And we were like, how do we reclaim that? And how do we like, teach people about the cultural aspects of twerking? And we created this whole society, created a people called the Buttopians. And we basically shaped the society around twerking and butts. And I guess the bigger your butt is and like the more it wiggles, the bigger you are in society, but you get one chance to sort of redeem yourself, and it's in this little event called the Booty Olympics, where regardless of your butt shape or your creed or whatever, you can sort of claim honor for your family.
What did your parents say then? Or some sort of who's your favorite uncle or favorite aunt? What did they say when you told them this is the game idea?
Like they're proud of you, like, oh yeah, you're doing something cool, but like, is this exactly the thing that you want to be doing? Yeah, but they didn't want to say it, so it's just you get that face like, that's nice.
Nice. Oh,
And I go, yo, what an inclusion. Like, okay, do you want to let your kids play? Don't, she's not in the mood to play today. So that would be so.
But maybe that's in certain points about what kind of games can people make? So does South Africa want those kind of games? Because I know you can get those kind of crazy games. I mean, there was a guy, but like they were making, I never knew this before I met him. They make games for the porn industry. So I never knew there's a whole, there's a whole, but South Africa is a different country. I think South Africa, we are very conservative. So I wonder how your experience was making this game and talking about it and promoting it.
It was kind of interesting because the one thing that, like you said, it's a very conservative country. the first thing that happened is we sort of lost like an audience in South Africa, right? So a lot of our audience was coming from overseas. It was like a lot of Japanese people, Asian. So that's the first thing that we did. We localized it for them, and it was like, yeah, Europeans and I guess the North Americans, South Americans. And that's where a lot of our audience was coming from, and which I guess it basically made it a little bit harder to market because we couldn't relate with them at all. You know what I mean? They were interested, but we couldn't really like translate it like that to them. So it was a very interesting journey.
Simple like question, because playing your game, I did see it's localized for the Easter lot, right? So how did that come about, right? Like, how did you ever get to a point where like we have to localize this game for a Japanese audience?
Yeah, so there's this Asian showcase called Indie Live Expo. They picked the game out, they liked the game, and yeah, it just definitely resonated with the guys there. And we were like, okay, we see a lot of traction, but some of the numbers are also aren't translating the way that we want them to translate. And I remember that weekend, I had to open ChatGPT. I don't know how you guys feel about like AI and stuff like that.
No, I support AI. I don't support the practice of training it.
True. I've been a victim. But yeah, I just opened up ChatGPT. We basically translated, tried to localize, thought about how people say things that side. You know, we considered a lot of things. And in literally a weekend, while the game was showcasing, we just translated everything. It was specifically for the Japanese audience at the time.
Do you know what is there particularly like about the game? The buts or the gameplay? Or is it a bit of both?
Man, you know, I've been watching, which is very interesting. I've been watching old Dragon Ball, right, first season. And you see a lot of like, they into
Bulma,
yeah, Bulma, Goku.
Oh, fan service. That's the fan service.
And I think they have an audience for that, where it's not done like, if it's too in your face, they won't like it. But if it's done like cheeky. You know,
cheeky.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Making connections.
Yeah, so I think they're definitely into something like that, or they're more accepting of it like that. That's why.
I think South Africa is Western. Like, I think our biggest influence is our cares and stuff like that when it comes to digital media is very, very Western, you know? Like, if the West turns an eye towards something and they're like, okay, now we want to, you know, promote people with pink hair all over the place, South Africa doesn't take that long to follow suit and start pushing the same thing forward.
Yeah, you saw with that Sweet Baby Ink thing, that woke is broke thing. So basically the whole scandal is there's this one company that takes.
I've heard about it. I'm not sure if they have or the audience has, but you can walk us through the whole Sweet Baby Ink thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I'm not like that well versed. I just know like the surface level stuff. So basically, you have this one company that you can subcontract them to help you soften up your game's image. Right? They'll add a few like. They'll make it more inclusive, essentially, and then everybody around the world, or I guess like not everybody around the world, a specific audience, a very Western audience, a male-dominated Western audience. I don't want to go deeper than that, where like we don't like this is woke, this is trash. And you know, I've had conversations with people in this country too, where they started like boycotting games that worked with Sweet Baby Ink, and one of the games was actually was like a British.
Yeah,
I was a victim of that. People were like, we don't want to play this because they worked with Sweet Baby Ink.
But what do you feel about?
But like when I played Zao, I genuinely did not feel some of the things that I've heard from Sweet Baby Ink, right? In League of Legends, you guys might have experienced it. In Overwatch, it's over the top. So they have a character index that helps them score if a character is diverse or non-diverse enough. So if you make a base character design, they will take it and they will start tuning it until it meets those requirements. So people say it ruins the story. Sometimes the intention for Kamani was for him to be this way, but Sweet Baby's like, that's not going to pass. Let's make him gay. And they just start adding things on top of your characters. But the good thing is, if you have a good score in their books, they have funders that will give you additional funding to complete your game. But when I played Zao, genuinely, I did not feel like it went that crazy. And I think this touches on what we said on the last episode, which is that we are the minority group, I think. Like, just generally, as being black people, we don't need to try. We're the minority group. So maybe that's why Zao just felt normal, because its creators are the minority group. But if you're not, Sweet Baby Ink sort of messes up your work.
But I think maybe I want to come into, because if you said they're trying to make things more diverse, right, or inclusive. So the fight is about people are fighting against inclusivity. That is my takeaway from that uproar online. Where you don't want to see people not like themselves, because the only reason they're trying to bring this up is because we have how many heroes who are not inclusive. We've had 40 years or 50 years of those heroes. So people are trying to bring up Trinyana, and it's, oh my God.
So I have a question on that, right? Because it's obviously good to have inclusivity in everything, right? But when and where is it forced, right? To say now we're trying to just shoehorn this thing everywhere instead of it being genuine enough for us to make something around it.
I want to raise my hand. If you don't force it, it never happens. And then you enforcing it, I think, is overcorrecting, right? Things happen, things go bad. People to fix it, they overcorrect until we come to middle ground. But if people didn't force anything, do you think apartheid would have ended because the guys were like, it's chilled, bro. These guys, they don't like it anymore. We are abusing them.
Yeah, you gotta force it a little bit.
So like one change to happen, but it must be change in our terms. It must be comfortable change.
Which is something I think is happening is like, so there's an appetite for new characters. There's an appetite for like, people want to see themselves in these heroes or whatever people are being portrayed as, right? And there's an appetite for that. But financially, I don't think there's that. So a lot of the big studios or a lot of the big companies are like, we'll remake Batman 5 times and, oh yeah, we'll add, let's say, a black Batman this time. And I think that's some of the trigger points that some of the people have, right? Those are some of the trigger points that people have. For me, it's not the people that I have that much of a problem with. It's the big guys on top who are funding the projects and saying that, okay, we don't want to come up with a new story. We're going to do Toy Story 5, or we don't want to come up with, you know what I mean? And that's essentially what's happening. People just getting fed up. Just fatigue, and they're just pointing it in the wrong directions.
And they did talk about AAA fatigue at Gamescom, and I think that's a good conversation. But I want to really sort of bring us back down here and ask you a question about our side of things, because we're talking about how the West has influenced us. In your experience, what do you think that the country or the industry is doing? What initiatives are they taking forward to support us, if there's any? From your experience, what can you tell us?
Like the industry in South Africa, particularly.
I mean, are there any initiatives moving forward? Do you feel the support? What are these things?
I mean, the one thing I can commend was that Afri Games launched, you know what I mean? Creating the space for people to fail, which is a very big thing in the games industry. A lot of the big players have failed a couple of times, and that helps you build your foundation, figure out how to do things, how to going on forward, right? And also, we don't have the amount of time to work on a game for 3 years and just figure things out as we go for that 3 years. We need to make things happen within like the first year or so, something like that. And those are the struggles that we faced, particularly at Space Salad, and I see a lot of the guys coming up behind us are like facing the same thing. So Afri Games having that like platform or giving people that opportunity to basically explore the industry like that is, for me, one of the few initiatives that are coming up that I am a fan of. More of these events that are also happening with Playtopia. I've been there a couple of times. I enjoyed it, just connecting with people on a more like human basis, speaking with the developers, and having a more business orientated event like what's this, Africa Games Week, you know what I mean? Exploring different sides, exploring sustainability, and also exploring like the more aesthetic and more happy-go-lucky side of games. So for me, those three, the events that are coming up, the frequency of them is quite exciting. To see more kids coming through.
Can I interrupt you here? Because I want to, so it's two sides of the question, right? I want to ask you about how Space Salad, you said 2019, right? So it's 5 years later. Yeah. How have you guys navigated that thing? And also want you to please talk about the Tropa Games that you guys are releasing. So
that looked interesting, by the way. I've been seeing it on Tavo status.
That was fun. So first question, please repeat. That was
just like your 5-year journey. Like, well, how did you guys make it through this navigating, like working as a small studio? How did you guys, keep going and pushing, and then up until now to the Tropica?
I mean, the last 5 years have been quite interesting. The way I've like basically broken them down in my head is I had them in different pieces, how we were figuring ourselves, like how we were figuring out the first year was workflow. After we went fully independent, for a while, we didn't really make any revenue. We weren't getting any grants. We didn't have any support from some of the people that we worked with. So we were just literally figuring out how to go about things, and you know what I mean? Picking out deals that could help sustain us for a bit. But through everything that we were experiencing, I think the one thing that kept us together was just like, we'd somewhat built our own internal community. We were like a family, and we were supporting each other in like different ways. If it was like a personal things that you were going through, we'd be very attentive to that. And if it was just like work things that you were going through, we'd be very attentive to that. For us, that was like literally the glue, having that community. We came up with like so many different sayings over the years, you know, hunger, humility, maskandi. The only culling we do is Black Label and saladism. But essentially what it was just sticking together as a team over the 5 years and just like navigating the spaces, you know, not having money in certain points. And also when you had like a surplus of that, how we'd behave in public and all that stuff, just making sure that everybody in the team was acting accordingly.
And now then, I think we have to wrap it up. But then quickly, tell us about Tropica, the Tropica Games, and what's happening there.
Oh yeah, so we've been working with WSB to make a series of games for Tropica Island of Treasure. Usually plays around Saturdays, 6:30, and we have a selection of about 6 games that we worked on them. The first 2 have released. The reception is quite, I think it's some of the biggest we've had with the games that we've worked on. Thank them for the marketing, and just the experience, I think, is to some degree revolutionary, having people play the games on the screen or what you're watching on the screen and you playing at home. But we added like a very gamified twist to it, right? So not just basically copying what they have there. But so far the reception has been amazing. You know, we're just tweaking it as we go. Sometimes we see things that people are doing and we just want to.
Can I do that thing from, I just want to interrupt you for, you know that, I don't know if you guys watch Drink Champs. I don't watch a lot of it, but I just see the clips. When someone says something cool, I think Noe is like, give me a round of applause, give me a round of applause. Let's give me a round of applause. Well done, my dude. I played 2. I played the archery one and the ball one.
Which one was your favorite?
I think I want to say the archery one, because I guess I was shooting more, right? I was doing more quicker. Like I was trying to hit, what was that? Those special power balls that were hard to hit. I was gonna say the word. I was gonna say pause when I said the power balls. But I think they're more gonna release, right? Yeah. There are 8 how many in total?
It's 6 games.
6, so 4 more to go. Are they already out?
2 are out. The third one is going to come out in a couple of weeks.
So are these games already done, made? So you guys are just scheduling releases now?
Hey man, just a little inside information is we're working on the last one right now, but we keep changing them as time goes. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, that was Mr. Neo Paco Ramatinyani with us today, giving us some glory from Space Salad. We're grateful, man. Anything you want to say as a shout out before we close the segment? You know, want to tell specific people to like, you know, comment, subscribe, ask.
Okay, shout out my baby mama, shout out family, shout out mama, shout out the homies from back in the day, shout out Rebel, shout out Blingo, shout out Bundy. Love you guys. Follow Space Salad ZA on every platform, and yeah, just tell us what you think about the games.
Yeah, and while you're out there following Space Salad, follow Disputed People Games on YouTube and catch our next episode of Disputed Pods. Thank you.
You watch too. For someone you watch too much.
On the thing, bruh. Do that thing where they tap on the thing, the ASMR, dog.
I don't know how to do that one.
Let me show you. He don't have the nails to do that. You need nails. No, let me show you. That's not how you do that.
McGee and Vibe Magoo.
Vibe check.
Whose bag is this? Whose bag?
So this is Vibe Magoo. I'm here with my homie Vibe McGee. We vibe.
We're vibing. We're vibing.
Whose bag is that? Now, lady, how does this make you feel?
She said she's the one who said I should take sunglasses.
Your hands looking hella ashy. You wanna get?
That's not how you do the thing. You're supposed to.
But I'm saying your hands are looking ashy.
Oh, okay. So when do we roll so that?
Can I use your shandies?
Oh, okay. Cool. So do this so the people can hear the ASMR. What are you gonna use that for?
For my hands.
For your hands. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here, and then people are gonna hear the sound
Of
your
what?
hands.
Of the lotion rubbing
Lotioning,
against the skin.
There you go.
Hey guys, welcome to our third segment. Wow, we're getting lotion. We're getting loshi. We are here with the amazing, the super special, the Tech Bean.
From South Game Studio.
Want to introduce the Vibe McGee and Vibe Magoo.
You've been wearing a chain, Kumo?
Kumo, who's Kumo?
What's his name?
Vibe McGee.
Oh, Vibe McGee. Okay, McGee.
We're on tour.
So Vibe McGee, and we got the great, the coffee.
You see, you messed it up. The Tech Coffee Bean.
If I was Queen Elizabeth, y'all would have just been, I would have fired all of you.
Yeah.
The Tech Coffee Bean.
The tag.
Tech.
Tech as in technology.
Yes.
Hola wafowethu. Konnichiwa. We are here at Joburg Games Fest for segment 3. You know, we have the lovely Tech McGee.
Yo, okay, another take. Today, welcome to segment 3 of the podcast. You are here with Turk. Fuck, you're here.
Wow, you guys suck.
With Vibe Magoo, Vibe McGee, Vibe McW, and the Tech Coffee Bean. So, the Tech Coffee Bean, please tell us about yourself and your studio.
Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to know? There's so many things to know. Everything from the beginning of Adam and Eve, or
Let's take it like this, right? If someone is looking into, to getting to know South Game Studio, what's the forefront things you want them to know about you guys? You know, could be your values, could be the games you've worked on, and who's behind all of this? The Tech Coffee Bean, what's behind it?
coffee. That's one. Two. My name is Avuzo Njongwana. I am a co-founder of South Game Studio, and I also work closely with all of you guys in the room. I also work at Simlokong. In essence of South Game Studio, we are building games that speak to women, for women, by women. We're currently making a game on menstrual cycle. So we are hoping to release that, a trailer or a playable vibe of it in December, Jan. We've also made a few games in game jams, which we've not released yet, but we dabble a lot and we make games, and I think it's good to build your profile or portfolio as a studio. But nothing has been out yet. The one game that we constantly always take for playtests is Sizwe, which is our first ever game, which we produced 2 years ago, was it? Very good game, very good concept. I still believe in the concept. We just need a big team to make it come to life, and just a good 3 months of uninterrupted time to make the game come to life.
And we've been trying to co-produce with you guys, right? To try and get the Menstrual game out there. So this is just to hype it and say, you guys should look forward to it. There's more forces involved in trying to get it out there, because we really like what these guys are doing.
Yeah, the menstrual game was a really tough one. It's very hard to make a game about a menstrual cycle. It's not easy. I even hope that people will get to play the game. For us, it was more of a highlight and bringing awareness of menstrual poverty, period poverty around the world. And as we did our research, was actually finding out that, the guys that make the decisions around women's that time of the month is men, and they don't even understand what that is about. So, there's people in the world right now that have to choose between food or a sanitary towel, and that shouldn't be the case, So, I mean, countries are at war, and women and children have to choose between food, water, and sanitary towels. So, yeah, I think it's good to have women in the gaming space to make these type of games, even though some of the games might not monetize, because there's still a whole thing around a woman's circle and stuff like that. So yeah, why not use game to drive that awareness?
Can I ask you about, so this ad I keep seeing all the time, right? It's, and I don't know how I'm the target market.
How are you the target? It's your algorithm. What are you liking?
It's the ad, yeah. It's the one, yeah. It's, I just remember the song. It's like, I can't even sing the song.
Is it always, yeah?
On the rooftop or somewhere. God, wow, what's going on?
It's a good thing. It means you're a champion for women's rights. So they're like, let's advertise to the champs.
The algorithm knows me better than
I think sanitary business is a multi-billion-dollar business, and it will never go away at all, right? My perspective, don't shoot me. You can shoot me. It's not the truth of what we go through every month, right? I mean, I can tell you now, I've been going to gym consistently for 2 weeks because I've been my best. I've been eating well, and then suddenly, yesterday, I'm like, I want kota. And it hits you every month because you forget. Like, it's like every month is a shock. Like, oh my gosh, it's happening again, right? Like, I can tell you now, you do not jump skipping ropes. In fact, you miss so many activities because, like, a week before your body goes through the menstrual cycle, like, it's a whole thing. It's like you feel like you're pregnant, even though you've never been pregnant. You've got aches in your body changes. You get a pimple at the back of your ear, but you've never gotten a pimple at the back of your ear. You get on your face, and that's your body telling you something is happening, but it flies over you for some odd, well, for me, every time I go on my periods, it's a shock every month. Every month, I'm just like, why is this happening? What is going on? So, like, for me, it's a misrepresentation of.
So that ad of them dancing is like, what are they doing?
Sir, you can't even. I don't know if you guys have gotten that shock where you, like, it's that time of the month, and then I don't know if it's a spasm from your bum, and that you just like, like, you can't even do that during a meeting. You'd be in an executive meeting, you're just like, yeah, you can't speak. So, like, that's not the truth. That is not the truth. So that's just brand and marketing. Yeah.
But so, I mean, I guess to your point about then coming back to you telling it from, like, you saying there are men who are making these decisions, right? Yeah. And that's why you bring in that with your game. I mean, it's very powerful things. I mean, obviously you don't need me to say it, but I imagine what else then are we missing out from women developers then? And how many are there actually in South Africa?
I don't know the number, but I know one thing I've learned over the year. I think this year I've really learned a lot, especially like organizing women game jams. Women are developing amazing things, right? But women, what I've also learned also is, like, there's a lot of content that sits with us and we don't take out because of how we're still trying to unlearn and relearn few things about ourselves and just how society is structured, right? I think that men these days really are unlearning to relearn women, ne? And I think we have to acknowledge that part. We can't just be like, men this, yes, but men are also taking the steps to want to learn about women, right? And then, like, because of that, and we are also like, okay, sharp, yes, men want to learn. So we have to unlearn certain things to also learn that, okay, now there's people that are trying to support us and we can't bend the same people that are trying to support us, right? So then that comes with a lot of confidence, right? It takes risk and confidence for you to now finally be like, okay, cool, we're gonna take out our games. Even with the games that we're showcasing today, I had to ask the women, are you guys comfortable with us showcasing these games? Because I understand, you know, the emotions around our games, right? Another thing I wanted to highlight is what I've learned of what I've seen is how many spaces say that, oh, we want women to come on board, but like are not willing to. And then you have women on board, but you're not willing to do the utmost to make sure women actually feel comfortable in the space, right? Like you want women to come work, okay, sharp. Well, then where are the paint liners in the bathroom? You know, it's small things. It's like small things that.
Okay, we didn't follow up because you were supposed to come back and give us headliners.
No, but no, you shouldn't feel like no. This is not directly.
No, I know, but it's a good reminder. I forgot.
You know, like
Not scrutiny, right?
it's not scrutiny. It's a general everywhere, right? Even in big corporations, it's like, yes, we want women to come work, but then like you then get looked down on when you say you want to take the rest of the day home because you're experiencing period pains. Even the women in the space turn on you and be like, but we all experience period pains. What makes you so special? But it takes us as a collective, as women, to be like, yeah, sure, she should be taking time off and go work at home instead of like, it's not that we're not capable of doing our job, and we've proven that we are capable of doing our jobs even when we're in period pain. But now we are saying, okay, you say you want women in the space, so allow that so that we are productive in a way that best suits us, because we have to unlearn to really in both genders, right? And other genders too.
No, I wasn't being defensive. We did speak about this. No, I wasn't, because we spoke about this. She was there 2 months ago, and we need to follow up on it. The point is that we let it go. We need to pick up on it and have those items at the office. Until she brought it up, I never knew it was a thing that people needed, right?
Yeah.
I want to jump on to a strong point while you still said it, because it just like clicked in my head, right? Where you said this woman wants to go home because she's having a period. And then you have other women like ganging up on her and stuff, right? This is not something I've done like research on or whatnot. It's just something I experience from all the females friends that I have, right? It seems in the office space, right? When it comes to like pressure, sort of emotional abuse, it almost seems like women go after women more than they even go after men, or that men go after them. I wanted to ask you, has that been a true experience for you, or something that you've seen? Is there an innate extra hostility from women management towards women, or is it like a...
Yes. No, it's not a myth. And the thing is, we experience it because we know. Like it's like sometimes it happens, but then you're just like, okay, well, I mean, for us, it's already more like, I was kind of expecting it, because for us, it's a shock when a man comes in and steps in and actually wants to help you, and you're like, oh, okay. But I mean, I've worked in a call center before, and let me tell you, like, yeah, you will experience other women, instead of pulling each other up, we pull each other down, right? So, but then again, I think that's just how the world has kind of boxed us, that we should be like dish each other. But I think there could never be enough talks around women coming together and working as one. We always have to talk about it, even though it sounds like a cliche, like we've spoken about it, but we always have to, because unfortunately, even in the times that we're living in, it looks like it's something that might not happen because of social media and how fast life is right now. So we always need to speak about women coming together, and me being able to go to someone and be like, it's okay. Like, you can cry. It's okay. And the thing is, I was actually saying now to Austin Tabuling that we need to understand the type of people that, like, I think Women Insurance tried to understand, like, make people understand a woman's brain. When they did that advert where they're like, a woman's brain is like a spider web and stuff. It's truly the representation of us, right? But it does not mean that we are not smart enough to do things. We have proven to people that we can do things. Even after I've given birth, I can still go back to work after a month. Even after I'm doing this, I can still, like.
I can tell you have a lot of irks with this, but we're gonna get destroyed by production. I promise you that. let's try and take it back to gaming at least, but still follow up with the same energy, right? When you deal with like all of these things that you deal with as a woman, when do you get to de-stress? Do you play games? And what are your favorites? What music do you listen to? How do you come down from that?
I will be honest and say this year really, this year strangled me. I haven't had the time to even like play any games. At least last year I was playing some games, but I want to personally put this out there. I did not grow up wanting to be a game developer. That was not the thing. So when people ask, like, did you know you always wanted to be a game developer? No, I was the one child who did not know what they wanted to be. In fact, I didn't think I was even smart enough. So then when I got into the gaming space, I was like, Then I remember there was a time when we were struggling with Sizwe a lot. And then you were like to me, have you tried playing some games to give you motivation? And mind you, I got into a gaming space and I have never really taken the time to actually sit down outside of FIFA and actually play good games, right? So here I am, I'm a game developer. And then he's like to me, wait, hold on. Okay, I see the work that you've done. It's good. But it looks like the problem that you're having, you might find a solution by playing games. And I had to be like to my team, yo, we need to play some games. And then I got hooked and I was like, oh, this is really, really good. This is good. But in terms of distressing, of recent, I've found developing a game is what actually brings me joy. So when I was hosting Women Game Jam, I also was developing a game, and I found joy, and I found that it was my world and no one could take anything away from me there, and I could block everyone out. And the game looked cute because it was about bras and the string thing that they put for us to suffer.
Only you can make that game, right? Because I always talk about how a great game comes from an experience you relate to. I think we had a talk about this with Antler as well. It's like, if I can't experience something, I can't try to make someone else experience it, right? Yeah. And I think this is like the diversity that women bring in this. There's just certain things as gents we never go through.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that is okay. I think for me, like when I say unlearning and learning, I think we're a beautiful space where men actually are aware and they're like, okay, teach me, right? I mean, sometimes, yes, I think sometimes as women, we can really test the waters and see how much we can take. But that's just us. That's who we are. And the beautiful thing, I think, is the learning part where you are learning and I am learning. And it's very understanding from the onset that Avuzo is a woman and Humulang is a man. And how you do things is completely different.
But Avuzo, can I just jump in? I want to ask you a question. I feel like there's something that happened when I wanted to make African games. Right? I felt there's pressure to make African games. Do you as a woman feel pressure to make women-centered games? Or do you, because I imagine, I want to move it to, could you ever make a game where, I don't know, it's a happy, I'm making it sound like it's like a random game. Because that's something I'm battling with from, should it be African? If it's based in Spain, does it count? Right? If it's based in Italy?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. Well, okay, I'm going to put it this way. This is how I've always felt as an African woman. Ne? The reason why I think personally I have never gotten to a point where I want to just make a happy game is because sometimes I didn't grow up where there was happiness for me to have a mind that allows me to just make a game. It's always been a struggle. So naturally, if I'm in a space where I can speak up about struggles that are still continuing even years and years later, that's what I want to do. I think the reason why you feel you should be representing and making African games is the same mindset where it's like things are still happening. And if we get the platform too, yes, we should be making happy games. And those people will. But we should also be making games that speak truly to us because, again, our culture, our experiences as African people as a whole is not told. There aren't books, there aren't audios, there aren't whatever. They are not there. So if we are these young people that have this platform and opportunities, why not try and find truth and make truth and then make it in a fun way? Or sometimes it just doesn't have to be fun. It can just be the truth and that's it from what we know it to be. And I think I've always been wanting to make happy games, right? So as to speak. But every time I go into Unity, I always go back to that notebook where I've been writing games like, and none of those games, yes, they are fun, but like all of them speak to Africanness and speak to womanhood and they speak to the things that are still going on. So yes, we should be making happy games, but
I'm sorry for that's why I held back when I was trying to say happy because, man, what is happy? Normal. Happy sounds like maybe it's normal is something that's terrible. But I hear from you that we don't have those things. That's why we have to create them. Yeah. Right? We are fighting to also create them. God, they never existed, and until maybe this is maybe it's like 100-year plan. Because until we do these games, the next generation, the kids who are here, they've experienced them. So next time they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna make a game about. I'll make an example with Greek gods, right? How many games about Hercules and whatever? So now this 10, 20 years later, God of War. So 20 years later, studio says, okay, they've done everything about Greek gods. How can we twist it? And I remember there was one game I was researching. They were making a game. Now the gods are in a modern world, but they're living the future. So I guess we have to put that groundwork of African games, women games, and then the new people are going to take it to another level.
I think we're making this up as we go, right? We're still young in the gaming space. Also you. Look at you. I think the industry is still young, and I think we should give ourselves. I mean, look at the game that won the Fagukesi Awards. It's a DRC game, and it's meant to highlight what's really going on in DRC, right? So the thing is, I think our kids and maybe the kids that are upcoming now. I mean, there was a kid who was showcasing the other day here at the Game Fest, and he made really a cool game. It was really fun. From a young boy, I think it was about 8 or so, right? Those are the people that might make good games. But also, there needs to be a balance because we can't run away from what is still happening, right? There's a whole genocide happening. We're going to make games about that.
The one about DRC? That's crazy. What happened? I
mean, look, DRC Congo is always... Can I say this on camera? No, I don't want to be like girl. But there's always a thing happening at DRC. They're always coming for them with their minerals, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole different world. I watched the documentary. Like, it's really bad. It's bad. Nigeria's too. Like, if you watch the documentary, and they're easily available on YouTube, people go out there to really find out what's going on, and it's bad. And that's why we design the games that we design. But yes, there should be a balance. I think there should be a balance.
There's an introspective to do with this, right? Where I fully believe you cannot make a game about an experience you don't know, ever, fully. So you always have to.
Is black our experience pain? Black people?
No. It's pain, right? But the introspective is we're making products, right? We're not making things just for ourselves, because if we say we're going to make a product that just represents pain, we have to think, why is someone buying this? Sometimes people want to escape from their job. That's already pain. Sometimes someone has a family to take care of and they get to unwind. They want to play a game. You think they want to sign up for more pain? And I'm not saying don't just serve pain if that's what you have, but that you need to understand that this is a communicative medium. There's someone receiving it on the other side. And you also need to consider, what are they ready for and what would they like? What would they pay you to fix your pain?
I think the thing around Sizwe, also when we developed Sizwe, it was more on, yes?
Oh, you wanted to ask me something?
Yeah. Welcome back. Come into the conversation, sir.
You're recent. You're gonna graduate now, right? You're gonna graduate like in like a month or
I
something.
was supposed to graduate last year.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
I'm gonna grad.
But my point is that you're the youngest game developer in the table, right? So how's your experience now? Because I mean, I'm not talking from a 20-year difference between me and you. Like your ideas are different to my ideas. So your experiences, let me say that.
My experience is like a game developer.
Oh, your thinking and your thoughts, yeah. What kind of games do you wanna make actually?
I think with regards to like, you know, the conversation that you guys had, I think I started dissociating for like quite a bit because I couldn't have any physical input in the conversation. But there was a question I wanted to ask her with like regards to like, you know, you own like a company with like game jams and like woman based, right? I'll get to your question now, Kuma, but I just want, this question's been burning in it's been itching. You know what I mean? Itching, bro, you know what I mean? But I just didn't find the time to like ask. But as like a woman, right, you're making games for like the now and like teaching people about like menstrual cycles and like that bra game that you had and everything. You know, obviously you want your company to like last for like years. What legacy do you kind of have, or like do you want to leave as like a woman game developer in South Africa, you know?
I think for me, it's creating a space where women can actually feel comfortable to start publishing their games. I think that's
What I would wish for. And I think that comes from us being able to publish as much games as we can possibly publish as South Game Studio, so that they can actually see that there's, you know, a studio that's owned by women that is actually doing it. That's what I would love. And every time they reference games around women or women in gaming, you know, South Game Studios' name is there because we've kind of put in the work to make sure that at some point women no longer have to cringe before they, you know, release their games. It's just as simple.
Why do you think women like cringe before do you think it's the environment that you guys are in, or like?
I think it's society as a whole. We cringe almost in every room we go into. And that's why I'm saying I'm very happy that men today are unlearning to learn us and we are unlearning to learn them. And I think it's a beautiful space to be in because they want to be taught and we need to teach them, and then they need to teach us that no, actually that's a misconception, it's not the truth and whatever. And yeah, so I think
to answer Kumo's question, right, it's because you guys were having like a large discussion about like women's gaming and like, you know, gaming in general with regards to like women in the industry and everything. Me as like a game developer or like a gamer now, I'm just thinking about shooting guns and fighting people, you know what I mean? I'm not really thinking about the aspect of like learning about, you know, which it sounds terrible, but I think what's marketed.
But you want to make a game where you're shooting people.
I'd like to make a game where I'm shooting people and everything, but like I never really thought about like.
why though? Why do you want to shoot people?
I think that's what gives me the dopamine rush, you know?
Yeah, and the people who buy these kinds of games are most likely going to buy his product. Yeah. Why? Because he understands what they like and what they don't like. Yeah. So he's being true to himself.
No, that's true.
I also feel like there's a bit of a discourse in terms of like understanding, because you make games for like teaching people and everything, and I never would have thought I'd hear about a game teaching about the menstrual cycle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you go on Google, you'd find one game of a lady that's like, I don't know if she's farting blood or whatever, and it's really bad. Yeah, it's really, even the mechanics are bad. That's what you'll find on YouTube, on Google Play. Yeah.
That's the only like medium or content of.
That's what when I researched in the research, that's what I found. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And she's like picking food, and every time she picks food, she becomes bigger. And then when she chooses like nice, healthy things, and but then she's like running around like this. It's really bad.
That you and Gift were talking about?
Nah, that one's just heinous. Nah, there's this one. It's just about ass though. That one's just purely. It's like an ad.
Yeah, but like, anyways, but yeah, that's the, you know, those are the games you'll find around a menstrual cycle. So even with us, the game was not, we didn't think about the game as more to make money out of it, but it was just to kind of have a game like that to, you know, to know that, you know, there's people that are actually thinking about these type of topics and and we're making a difference in the industries that we're in.
I do think there isn't really like a market for, or not a market, but there's not like, there's a gap in the market with regards to like stuff like that, because what's usually marketed to like the general public is your adventure games, your side scrollers, your action, your Call of Duties, your FIFAs and everything.
And that's, you know, and that's the route that we're probably also going to have to take. Like Kumulang is saying, that the truth of the matter is people enjoy those type of games, and when you run a business, at some point you have to come back to yourself and be like, okay, sharp, yes, we've done these games, but now we need to make games that will give us money, right? Which is what we are going to be working with on soon enough too.
But I do think tying in the female perspective into like the saturated genres is something that can happen and something that can work. You can make an adventure game about, you know, I
think the bra game is gonna look really cool.
You already.
I had a suggestion but this is what I'm saying.
If it's gonna embarrass you, don't say it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for Humlang's advice.
You think it's worth having a conversation over, say it, get corrected, and let's. If we don't see things, what do we learn?
I think I was cold, bro. No, Humalang cold as
But you could also, but you can also keep your intrusive thoughts to yourself.
Yeah, maybe this one can be kept under wraps. Under wraps. But yeah, I think most of my silence throughout a majority of this was just being highly uneducated on like topics like this, you know. It was more like a session for me to kind of absorb everything that you guys, because you guys are seasoned vets in game development, you're a seasoned woman, you know what I mean?
So it's like
Wait, what is the guy? What is seasoned? Because 6 guys, lemon and herb.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm so tender and young, and like my head isn't like where you guys are, you know? So yeah, I just feel like a lot of this was just gaining the information and understanding, and then coming to like a point where I could say something with regards to that, because compared to everybody here, I am a baby, you know?
And that's okay. I think that's a very good age to be in. And I think maybe being in conversations like this is good, because I think you then have a different perspective. It's the spice. Bless me. Yeah, like to really understand what we're building. You know, I think we have a lot of content, guys, that is just we're scared to take out, you know.
It's something that we don't know about, you know. Like I don't know about Women Game Jam, aside from the one time we covered it. But aside from that, I didn't know about the games. I didn't know about, you know, like manifestos, like what you guys are trying to put forth to the public and everything. And I think just getting everything that you were talking about now and like what you're marketing to like the people and like the general public, I think it gives a lot more insight to your sector of, you know, game development.
I have a question for you guys. Wait, I have a question. What type of games would you like to see from women?
I think, me personally, games I'd like to see from you guys, because when niggas make games about girls, it's boobs, butts, you know, and all of that. Duke Nukem, bruh. Yeah, except Atlehang. But like, you get your games like Lollipop Chainsaw, right? That's a game that's like a female lead, but it's not really talking about like the female experience. You know, she just has a chainsaw and she's, you know. But like, I'd like to see things more from like the ladies' perspective. You know, that's why I was talking about like the really saturated markets, like your FIFAs, your Call of Duties, from like a woman's perspective, and like how you guys would tackle certain things. You know, like I like Kratos and I like seeing him swing his blades, you know, but I don't think we have too many female leads in gaming, you know. I mean, we have Ghost of Yote that has a female lead these days. Lara Croft.
But also Ghost of Yote is built off the foundation of a male like centric game, right? So for me, I would just like to see how you guys comprehend like fast paced or action, or because everyone always expects, and we did it with the cozy games, that if a woman's gonna make a game, it's gonna be chill, nice, and whatnot. But what if that's not all there is to the diversity that is a woman, right? So I want to see that other side of the spectrum. Sharp, you make cozy games and they're nice and chill and relaxing, but on the extreme, how do you guys think? That's what I want to see.
Kuma.
I play actually a lot. Well, I'm at League of Legends. I play a lot of female characters actually. I play Vi and I play. Who's the other lady that I play? Quinn. Yeah. So, but I guess are those women in a male-made game? So what do I want to see from?
Like, what type of games would you like to see that are created by women now?
I mean, okay. So someone mentioned Lara Croft. I played Lara Croft in the 90s, right? Since Lara Croft, I don't think I ever played another game. But I mean, those were not made by women. What would I like to see a game if I had a daughter? And maybe one day I'll have a daughter. Call her Kuma. It's a unisex name. And it's a beautiful name, by the way. So if I had a daughter and a game was being made, I would love a game where she sees herself as being kick-ass and she can do anything and everything and she's powerful and she's not a side character. Because I remember in one of the research I was reading, like, obviously women, I think they were saying, up until that point, there were 20 black female heroes in about 40 years of gaming. You know, and then most of the characters were also side characters who don't talk, they're in their back, hanging around with the dude. So I'd want a game that empowers my child, makes her feel like, she's jumping around the house, Lena there, she's like a superhero. And Daddy, I'm gonna kick you and something. So yeah, something that makes someone feel powerful.
With that, Miss Talabo, can you close us the segment?
Was Disputed People Games on Disputed People Pods. Disputed Pods on tour. Buffwait, right? We have the lovely
The Tech Coffee Bean.
The Tag Coffee Bean, you know what I mean? Not Jacobs, not Rick Coffee, not Nescafe. That one, you know what I mean? The Tag Coffee Bean, you know what I mean? But, we had a lovely conversation with her. Please check her out on all of her socials. Please tell us.
At South Games Studio on all socials. And then if you're looking for me personally, it's at The Tech Coffee Bean. Only on Instagram. I don't got no other social media.
Thank you so much for that. If you enjoyed the third segment, we've had a lot of segments, a lot of guests. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment down which was your favorite part of what segment, and tell a friend to share the video, subscribe and do all of that. You're going to see us at many more events. You're going to see us at Africa Games Week in Cape Town, December. Be there for us, you know what I mean? Because we're going to be there for you. But yeah. That is Little Hung from Disputed People Games. You're watching Disputed Pods.
Gift looks like that dad who's just like, wrap it up already.
King, those hands. What are those hands? You gotta leave. The love. How do you do it?
It's this one. It's like this. Or just shooting the hearts that niggas be doing now, bruh.
What's the heart?
Like this. Do this one, dog.
Guys, my tongue clang. Lina Lili arthritis. We can't.
I feel attacked.
But yeah, guys, that's us. We'll
Love
see
you.
you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.